Now, your First Alert weather with Chief Meteorologist Stephen Bowers.
All right, our winter weather advisories have been expanded to include now all of the western San Juans, and that winter storm watch that I told you about has been upgraded to a winter weather advisory for the eastern San Juans. So these run through Thursday, the morning for the western, and for the eastern San Juans, it's until 11 o'clock in the evening. Look, blanket rule here, 5 to 10 inches, and then there are going to be some spots that get a foot or more of snow. Of course, travel is impacted along Highway 491, Highway 160, Highway 550, especially over the mountains, but not necessarily limited to the mountains. And already clouds are on the increase as the storm system spiraling back here over Arizona gets a little closer to us, and that's what's going to set us up for that chance for snow. Snow can start picking up as early as about 7 to 8 o'clock. It's kind of on and off through the night and into tomorrow morning, and then it becomes more on for the San Juans, and then still on and off, I think, for Dove Creek, for Cortez, and for Durango, and for those surrounding areas there. There we are at noon tomorrow. Keep going through the evening drive, and you see there's still plenty of snow, especially over the mountains, but this new expansion of that winter weather advisory that I talked about, it expands it to include areas like Telluride and Uray. There's 5 p.m. I should say. And then there's midnight where it's starting to break up, and it will continue to gradually fade off to the east here. There's maybe some lingering snow on Thursday morning over the eastern San Juans, but that's well outside of our area, and it's on its way out, so I'm not too concerned with that. And even over the plains, this exits by about 5 to 6 p.m. on Thursday. Now, as I said yesterday, and I'll repeat this, it's the south-facing slopes of the San Juans that are favored for the biggest snowfall. And you see around places like Rico, up to a foot can fall, maybe a little bit more than that around Nettleton. Our futurecast is trying to get up to as much as 1.5 feet. Now, I don't expect that everybody gets that much. Again, blanket rule, 5 to 10 inches, and then we're talking 1 to 4 inches from Durango to Cortez and up to Dove Creek, and most areas out of the mountains are going to favor the lower end of that 1 to 4 inch range. By the way, speaking of snow in Grand Junction, we've only had 2.3 inches of snow so far this season. Normally, we're at 11.7. That's the average over the last 30 years. Now, the smallest amount we've had up to this point is 0.4 inches. That happened back in 1943, about 80 years ago, a little over that. I want to compare that, though, because remember last week you had a lot of snow in the deep south. Pensacola, Florida got 8.9 inches. That's an all-time record seasonally for them. They usually don't get any snow in the season, but they are certainly closer to normal for where we should be as opposed to where they should be. 53 was the high today, 24 was the low at the Grand Junction Airport. Right now we're under a clear sky at 44. We should start to notice a few clouds coming in through the evening as our temperatures step down to the 30s. Temperatures by morning, low to mid-20s here. Teens can happen in the cold spots. And then tomorrow, that's kind of where we start. And then we're on the way up as you're heading out the door. So expect 20s and 30s early, and then we'll warm toward the middle and upper 40s tomorrow afternoon. And that's about as warm as we get. The farther south we go, the cooler we are because the more clouds there are. Of course, around Cortez, it's only 30s, while the rest of us are in those mid to upper 40s. Here's the 7-day forecast for you. And it does show that warming through the upper 40s and lower 50s through Friday and even Saturday. And then it's upper 50s to lower 60s from Sunday on. Morning lows climb through the 20s and into the lower and middle 30s next week. We could actually have a low almost 40 degrees next Tuesday morning around Grand Junction. Not only are we unseasonably warm by then, and really the whole 7-day forecast is unseasonably warm, but we could be up to record territory for Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday around Grand Junction. Likewise, Montrose, we're warming through the 40s and 50s and up towards 60 degrees by early next week. Morning lows will be in the high teens to low 20s, climbing toward the upper 20s and lower 30s over the weekend. In Delta, expect upper 40s and low to mid 50s through this weekend, and then Sunday climbs towards 60 and into the 60s we go next week. Those morning lows again climbing out of the 20s and into the low to mid 30s for the weekend and early next week. And in Cortez, you have that shot at snow tomorrow. After that, it's a quiet remainder of your 7-day forecast with temperatures climbing for highs to the 40s and 50s and up towards 60 degrees by Monday.